My name's Sabrina Ramonov, and in this video, I want Claude Sonnet to go head-to-head against ChatGPT 4.0 on multimodal math puzzles. And specifically, I'm going to use a bunch of puzzles from this book called the Moscow Puzzles. It's a math book that my husband apparently grew up with in Moscow, and my conclusion from skimming it so far is that math is really intense in Moscow. But I want to see how well ChatGPT 4.0 and Claude Sonnet will do. And many of you have probably seen the benchmarks here where Sonnet supposedly is better than ChatGPT 4.0 on a number of metrics. Interestingly, when it comes to math problem solving and zero-shot chain of thought, ChatGPT 4.0 is still supposed to be better, although Claude Sonnet is better on, I guess, other math-related tasks according to these benchmarks here. I've also seen posts on like LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff claiming that Claude Sonnet is better than ChatGPT for complex math problems. So I figured it'd be fun to go ahead and test it out. Here I've pulled up the first math problem that we're going to feed into ChatGPT and Claude. And it's basically four wheels, A, B, C, D, connected with belts as shown. And then the question asks if wheel A, which is on the bottom right, if it starts to rotate clockwise, can all four wheels rotate, or does the system get stuck? If so, which way does each wheel rotate? Can the wheels turn if all four belts are crossed, or if one or three belts are crossed? Answer here is if you look at the diagram, so look at this arrow, A is going clockwise, okay, which turns D clockwise as well because of how the bands are connected. And then this turns C clockwise, and then you see how the band is like twisted here. This turns B counterclockwise. This is also twisted in the band. It turns A clockwise. So short answer, yes, all four wheels can rotate if wheel A starts to rotate clockwise. And the wheels can also turn if all four belts are crossed, but not if one or three belts are crossed. So yeah, let's go ahead and see how well Claude does. So I'm going to upload just that picture and tell Claude solve this math puzzle. Okay. Good thing it recognizes that there's wheels A, B, C, D. So Claude reasons yes, all four wheels can rotate. A is clockwise. That's correct. B is counterclockwise. So Claude got this wrong by saying D is counterclockwise. This is also wrong. The wheels can turn if all four belts are crossed. And this is also wrong. The wheels cannot turn if one or three belts are crossed because it's an odd number. This problem demonstrates that in a belt, an odd number of crossed belts allows rotation, while an even number of crossed belts causes the system to lock up. So this is the exact opposite conclusion. I do like that it analyzed the problem, it analyzed the diagram correctly, it got the concept of like rotating clockwise, counterclockwise, and the concept of belts crossed or not crossed. Let's go ahead and try this in ChatGPT. I'm going to tell it the same thing. And the reason I'm specifically using the word puzzle is because in previous experiments where I fed kind of puzzles or riddles to ChatGPT or any other LLM, it tries to find like a deterministic solution when I say words like riddle or puzzle instead of problem. And so that's why I'm calling it math puzzle, to tell GPT and Claude that there is a solution. So just think about it, think through it. Okay. Oh, configuration of belt and rotation. Yeah, if the belt is, yep, okay. Now ChatGPT analyzes each wheel, rotates, yeah. I forgot which one is B. So B is counterclockwise, and C and D are actually clockwise. So this is wrong. So, yeah, so this is the exact opposite. Fall for blah, 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 partial crossing. For specific scenarios, okay. Okay, yes. Not the correct reasoning, but the correct answer. If wheel A rotates clockwise, yes, all four wheels can rotate. And this is wrong. With 1 or 3 belts crossed, the system cannot rotate. It gets stuck. Claude was just completely wrong. ChatGPT at least arrived at the correct conclusion for the primary use situation, which is if wheel A rotates clockwise, then the system can run. But it kind of got the reasoning wrong, like it reversed the rotations for each of the wheels. So the correct answer is C and D are also clockwise, B is counterclockwise, but ChatGPT reversed that answer, saying C and D are counterclockwise while B is clockwise. So for this round, ChatGPT is the winner because at least they got one part of the question right. This is incorrect, and this is incorrect, unfortunately. Now, the second problem I want to try, these problems are from the Moscow Puzzles book by Boris Kordemsky, first published in 1956, and now there have been 8 editions and millions of copies sold. So it's actually a really fun book. My husband said he used to go through it as a kid growing up. It has over 400 diagrams and sketches of like unique math problems and puzzles. So highly recommend. Okay, so this math problem, you have a figure, it's a spiral, and it's built out of 35 matches. And the challenge is to move only 4 of these matches to form 3 squares. Let's try Claude first, just like last time. Let me start a new chat. Okay. Let's say solve this math puzzle. Take a deep breath and take it step. Okay, I was hoping Claude would actually output like a little ASCII art or something. But I don't want to ask because I only have 1 message remaining until 12 p.m. I'm using Claude AI for free at the moment, and I haven't seen like a daily message limit before. I know that there are supposed to be limits, but I guess it's based on demand, and everybody decided on a Saturday morning to go try Claude AI. So we have a spiral like fix, understanding the problem, analyzing the current structure. Okay, it's a strategy. Okay. So move the match. Okay, so this is kind of hard to visualize. So I'm going to put the image over here so we can just visualize a little better what it's talking about. Okay, so move the match from the top right corner of the inner spiral to which is this, to complete a square in the top right corner. Yeah, so that was our first move as well. So this goes here. Okay, great. So it created 1 square. And then move the match from the bottom right corner of the inner spiral to complete a square in the bottom right corner of the large square. I'm struggling with this one. I don't understand how it moves the match from the bottom right corner of the inner spiral, which could be referring to like this inner spiral or this one, to complete a square in the bottom right corner of the large square. So the problem is to complete a square in the bottom right corner of the large square, you need 2 matches. So I'm not sure like what this second point is talking about. The third point, move 2 matches from the left side of the inner spiral, which could be this or these 2, to complete a square in the bottom left corner of the large square. Now that's actually doable. So if I take, these 2 matches and then put 1 here and then 1 here, then we have another square. So this would be our second square, and then the first square is like the large one here. But because this doesn't quite make sense to me, if it makes sense to you, please post a comment in case I'm missing anything. But I don't believe this works because to complete a square in the bottom right corner of the large square, like let's say it's talking about like this general region, you need 2 matches, and this is only moving 1 match. Good news is Claude made 2 squares, so 2 out of 3, which is great. It did a really good job like analyzing the image, realizing it's a spiral, and then being able to visualize the matches, noticing that there's already kind of a large outer square to work with, which is an easy one to make a square out of. Its strategy is to create squares within the existing structure, which is smart. most efficient way would be to create smaller squares inside the large one, which is what I think it's trying to do with these two solution steps. It's trying to create like a square here and a square here in the bottom right and bottom left corners of the large squares. I understand it. So it got 2 out of 3 squares. And now let's try ChatGPT. Let me just copy and paste the prompts. Okay, it's playing it out step by step. Identify the matches. Notice that you can form new squares by rearranging the matches. Select the first match, second match, third match, fourth match. Visual. Hope it gives me an actual. Oh, it really didn't give me a visual, which is a bummer. A visual with the 4 matches you moved. Yeah, let's analyze. Oh, nice. After move 1. Is this the same spiral? That does not look right. Okay, interesting. Well, let's analyze the moves that it suggested first. So number 1, notice that blah, blah, blah. So select the first match move. Move the bottom left vertical. Hang on, let me rearrange this. Move the bottom left vertical matchstick of the smallest inner square, which could be this or this, to the bottom left corner to start forming a new square. Okay. Move the bottom matchstick. Okay, so I think it's talking about these two. Move the bottom matchstick of the smallest inner square, now missing one side, to the bottom right corner, completing the second side. So that is our new square. So that's 1 square. Move the top matchstick of the smallest inner square, to the top right corner to start forming the third new square. When it says top right corner, it could mean this or this. So it also says like start forming the third new square, even though like from these 2 moves, it only formed 1 new square. You know what I mean? So it says for move 1, it starts forming a new square. Move 2 is complete the new square, but it thinks it already made 2 squares. But move these 2 down here, that's 1 square. Move the top matchstick to the top right corner. So that would be square number 2. 1, boom, boom. And then move the right matchstick of the second smallest inner square to complete the new square at the top, which could be here. Boom. Okay. Yeah, that would be 3 squares, right? Yeah. So here, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then this one, let's say what it means is go over there. Again, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, okay? And then this one, to complete the new square at the top, yeah. So you would have 1, the big square, and then this kind of secondary square. And then these 2, it moved over to this corner to complete a square. So that would be 3 squares. 1, 2, and then the big one. The solution I was thinking for this was move this over here, move this over here, and then for this inner spiral, you can build a square out of this already. So move this matchstick over here, move this matchstick over here. So then your 3 squares would be here, 1, tiny one, secondary one, and then the large one. But ChatGPT actually did something pretty similar. Like instead of creating the smallest square out of this existing matchstick, it just moved these 2 like over here to create a square. And then it moved this over here to complete that square, and this over here. So ChatGPT actually got it like 100% correct, just from this description. But I'm not sure about the images it produced. It looked kind of confusing. So, in Lua, this is supposed to be the initial configuration, but it doesn't even look like the spiral. So this is not off to a good start. So it moved a match from there to over there. Yeah, so the visual representation was not super helpful or accurate, but the good news is that ChatGPT got it right just from like reasoning about it and describing where exactly to move the matches. Actually really impressive because like look how bare the diagram is. It's just like here's a spiral for matches and move some matches around to make some squares, you know. This round belongs to ChatGPT as well, because if we look back at Claude, this move is insufficient to move one match and create a square in the bottom right corner of the large square. You actually need two. So Claude was able to make 2 out of 3 squares, but ChatGPT was able to make all 3 squares with 4 valid match moves. So far, 2 out of 2, ChatGPT is the winner for these multimodal type of math puzzles. Let's try another one, and I'm excited to show this question because it was just kind of funny. It's pretty hard though. I'm not really expecting either of them to make much progress with this, but goats from a cabbage. So now we have goats and cabbage, and the task is to draw 3 straight lines that will separate all the goats from the cabbage in the picture. So easiest way for me to show this. Oh my God. Okay. Sweet. Something like that. Forgive my drawing skills. Okay, so that's one line. And then the second line will be like this. Okay. Then the third line will be like magic trackpad. Oh no. Oh no. Well, you get the idea. So it's that way. With these 3 lines, we have separated all the goats from the cabbage. So he's over here, he's over here, goats over here, and then you have the 4 goats over here, and there's no cabbage in that plot. I'm going to start another chat with Claude. Now I'm just going to say solve this math puzzle. I undid the line so I can upload it to Claude without the lines. Okay. And I'm out of free messages until 12 p.m. Darn it. Okay, now let's see what Claude is saying. So draw a line from the top left corner diagonally down to the bottom right. Yeah, which is pretty much what we had, right? Top left corner diagonally down to the bottom right, enclosing most goats in the lower left triangle. That part is not correct. Most goats are actually over here. And then draw a second line from the top right corner down to intersect with the first line, enclosing any goats in the upper right area. So I guess from here. And then draw a third line horizontally near the bottom to separate any remaining goats from the cabbage. A third line horizontally near the bottom. So like around here. I feel like it's like trying to do this kind of thing, but that wouldn't work anyway. If we expand this, like look how much cabbage there is by the goats, right? Like this goat has all that cabbage, this goat has all that cabbage, this goat has all that cabbage, and so Claude is very wrong here. Now let's try ChatGPT. I'm just gonna undo this so we can try it again. Okay. All right. Okay, here's a... Oh, okay, Mathematica. I did not expect that. Interesting. So let's pull it up side by side with the image. See if it checks out. Let's try doing the solution first. So draw a horizontal line between the second and third rows of cabbages and goats. So does it mean second from the bottom or second from the top? So second, 1, 2, or it might mean second and third rows of cabbages. Yeah, that's tough because they're not super aligned in rows. Not sure where it wants me to, like here. And it specifies a horizontal line. Let's see if this visual representation helps. Yeah, I don't even know what this is. I guess when it's interpreting the visual, it sometimes can't distinguish between the goat and the cabbage. Like I get C is supposed to be for cabbage and G is supposed to be for goat, but like this row does not correspond to anything in the diagram, right? Like okay, this is a cabbage, then a goat, then 4 cabbages. This is a goat, and then a bunch of cabbages. It just doesn't correspond to the image at all. I just don't know what it's saying. Like maybe here? Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Draw a vertical line between the 3rd and 4th columns of cabbages and goats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3rd and 4th vertical line. I mean, this is kind of vertical. Something like that. Draw another vertical line between the 5th and 6th columns of cabbages and goats. Let's see here. Yeah, there's like an opening. Obviously, this solution doesn't work either. So pretty much every goat has a bunch of cabbages all around it. It is really curious to me, like why it is limited to horizontal and vertical lines. Curiosity. Let's say, try again. We are not limited to drawing horizontal or vertical lines. You can draw diagonal lines too. Take a deep breath and take it step by step. I'm gonna undo the marks here. Oh, nice, cool. More precise description of the lines. Let's try that. So top left to bottom right, pass through positions 1, 1, and 7, 7. Okay, that's good. That's one of the lines. I think Claude said the same thing too. Diagonal from top right to bottom left. That's interesting. That's what Claude said too. And then a horizontal line from middle top to the middle bottom. I'm not sure actually what this means. Horizontal line from the middle top to the middle bottom? Like, okay. But how could it be middle top to middle bottom if it's horizontal? I don't know. I'm just trying to like just give it the benefit of the doubt. Like, what does it mean? Like, it already successfully separated these goats from the cabbage. Maybe it's trying to just focus on separating these goats. Horizontal line from the middle top, like middle top to middle bottom kind of line. None of this is horizontal. What? Like this? I'm really not sure what ChatGPT means by a horizontal line from the middle top to middle bottom. Let's see, a horizontal line through the middle of the remaining section. So what does it mean by remaining section? Again, I'm really not sure what it means by that, but in any case, yeah, it's unfortunately like not correct either, but it was close. I forget if Claude also said something similar. Yeah, I mean, so it's the solution's pretty equal. So they both got like these 2 lines, right? But they did not get the 3rd line, which I'll draw here, which is kind of this vertical line. So, I'm cutting off the goat's head. Oh, okay. I'm using a trackpad and it's kind of shitty. So there you go. So that's the correct 3rd line. Neither Claude nor ChatGPT got it, even after additional prompting. And then ChatGPT, like the first interpretation and attempt at the math puzzle was just really wrong. It just limited itself to horizontal and vertical lines, and then it tried giving us a visual representation which didn't correspond at all to the cabbages and goats in the actual image. Then I prompted ChatGPT to try again, telling it you can draw diagonal lines too, and a little chain of thought, take a deep breath and take it step by step. Here it finally matched the answer of Claude. So they both got these 2 red lines, but they missed this 3rd vertical blue line. So this round goes to Claude. So far we have 2 for ChatGPT and 1 for Claude for multimodal Moscow math puzzles. I did want to put in a few more math puzzles, but I am out of free messages with Claude.ai until noon, unfortunately. So I will just wrap up this video with this final image of goats in a field of cabbage. My name's Sabrina Ramonov, and if you like ChatGPT and AI experiments, hit like, subscribe, drop a comment below. Look forward to hearing from you.